So, how do you fix something that is season long devastating? How do you fix something that pretty much defines a show going forward? That is terrible. This channel, Burnout in recent, is about talking about the things that actually work. I'm a big proponent in positivity here. But when it comes to Koglioko's season 3 plotline, there's no positivity to be had. As you'll find out later in the episodes that we're yet to do in the 13 Ghost, this thing gets off the rails quick. By the way, if you're following the Aelita Diaries week to week, understand that the content here is spoilerific. If you have watched all of Kogliogo Season 3 or beyond, you're good. If you don't mind being spoiled, you're also good there. But for those that are following along with my 94 episode journey, hold off on this one until the season is done. But outside of that, based on the information that is already here in the series and a few alterations of my own, I plan to fix this creaking, slow, well, not necessarily slow, but boring and linear track to, well, first spoiler, Lyoko's destruction. And it's not like the show doesn't tip off its endgame, which is the first mistake. The endgame is tipped off as soon as, well, Lyoka -1, which, if you haven't seen my review of the episode, it will be right in the end card, right on the left. My left or your right. And you can find out why I despise the episode. But it's going to begin a chain of episodes that are largely forgettable, and it's because of its linear plot. Lyoko's slow, systematic destruction due to the hands of the Skimpozoa and Code Xana. It gets bad. The tension rises near the final battle of the core zone. Betrayal happens. And the Lyoko Warriors, just like they did a season before, fail big. Sure, it's not as cry-inducing or as shocking as the season 2 fail. Why? Because it's been tipped off way too early and way too obviously. The mistake is, of course, in Code Xana itself. Its mere existence, its out of nowhere explanation to how it even could exist, and its use. In this video, I plan to fix all three, and it's actually pretty easy to fix. First off, Code Xana's existence. The evil Yang the Koryoko good. Now, yes, having an evil yin yang to the ultimate fix-it code, just on the idea of it, is a good one. It's basic, it's 101, it's writing simplicity. You have a power to make the good guys win every week, giving the bad guy an equal equivalent power can, if the situation warrants, fit very well. Other than that, you get the Jackie Chan Adventures effect of everybody chasing after the MacGuffin, or in that show's case, MacGuffins. The major flaw with Code Xana is it's never even mentioned. Not even once. Not in episodes before, not in any ancillary stuff, not even in the series Bible before is the evil code even mentioned once. This could be obviously fixed, but you have to go back to season 2 to do it. Franz Hopper's diary has a lot of hidden secrets about the creation of the supercomputer itself, what it was used for, and the time program. Also, it has Xana's original functions in it. Yes, the layman could say that Code Xana is just a product of Xana's growing power, that he's got enough power to create the code now. But it's lame. It's really stupid lame. Everything about Code Lyoko, the computer, and even Aelita's presence here has been given a long-term explanation. It's time to give Code Xana one. And this is when I open up the pen for the first time. You put it in France's diary. And one of the many entries. In fact, there's about 52 entries if you read the diary. The exact number of episodes to that point where the diary was unlocked and the secret was uncovered. You could add a 53rd one speaking of a failsafe, a kind of if everything goes bad situation, and Lyoko loses all intent of its purpose in in an effort in an effort to assure that the French government doesn't grab hold of Lyoko and its many resources. Lance Hopper created a desperate failsafe, just in case, even with his daughter's help, they would fail to keep Lyoko's technology and world away from the government by giving Xana the power himself to get rid of it all. Thus, the indication of the anti-code. Code Xana. Xana's last executive power. The power to delete himself and any evidence of himself from being discovered from the government. But, of course, because Xana turns self-sufficient and evil, he modifies the failsafe, allowing Xana to be used similarly for its root execution, but for him to wield it as a weapon. You could even give this improved Code Xana the power to delete websites, to break through military organizations, or even at the worst case scenario, launch nuclear missiles. See, one of the problems with Code Xana is it's not evil enough. It's not versatile enough. It's not deep. It's not dangerous. It's simply an eraser tool. It's basically highlighting your text and then hitting the delete key. That's how big, bad, and bold this is. But because Lyoko is pretty much the core of the show, and you can't get anything done without it, well, crap. That's what creates its artificial tension. But that's just it. The tension is artificial. No matter how you write it at its current state, it just doesn't have enough power to create the tension and fear that it induces. See, what they were trying to do was duplicate the same fear and tension that happened in all of season 2 with the Skimpozoa. The tension of what if the Skimpozoa succeeds in his deeds? What will happen to Lyoko? What will happen to its heroes? Code Xana was a way to escalate the stakes, but it falls flat mainly because of Code Xana's lack of power, its lack of true threat. Outside of a way tower, it means absolutely nothing, which, and without having to use Aelita as a crutch to use it. And oh, about that. This is the biggest mistake that the use of Code Xana even uses. Using Aelita as a physical crutch, making her take the blame for deleting the sectors, thus messing with her already fragile up mind as it is. This is not needed, especially considering the trick that the writers pull at the end of the season to deliver the coup de grace. This is definitely not needed. So, the way to fix it here, Skimpazoa, scrap it. Well, if you need a reason for Code Xana to exist, then if you're scrapping the Skipazilla, what's the fix? Well, it's easy. The very coup de grace that the Ryoka writers use at the end of the season to heighten the tension and deliver Xana's quote unquote final victory is the secret of fixing the whole thing. Only you don't do it at the end. You do it at the beginning. Yep, the way you fix this entire season is take the end shock and put it at the start. Leoka -1, actually, would be a perfect place to fit it. William Dunbar being possessed. It's the big shock at the end of season 3. The thing that shakes up the status quo to really ratchet it up for season 4. The betrayal of a friend turned unwilling enemy. Sure, it's a shock. It works. But it's at the wrong place at the wrong time. Let's say we flip it and have William be possessed by Xana through needs of Noble Spectre, but what to Lyoko do to one of those specters? In the gang sleep, Xana creates a warrior underneath them, giving him all the tools that he would have in season 4. Thus making him the leader of the monster army, but most importantly, giving him one more key tool to the arsenal, the Xana code. The gang doesn't know this has happened, not until William makes his first appearance near the end of Leoka -1. And thus, because Odd and Aelita are preoccupied with the tarantulas, he runs off to the Way Tower to do whatever. William William gets chased by Oric and Yumi, but they end up not being strong enough, seeing that their forms by this point are outdated as hell. They get done in, and the first Xana code is brought in. Actually, just mere seconds after Aelita successfully enters the Lyoko code to deactivate the Tower of the Day, thus giving you a false, dusty finish before the actual finish occurs. You could do this throughout the entirety of the season, but you could turn it into a race with both figures battling and fighting each other, and even sometimes giving leeway. But in the end, William, with his newly updated virtual form that is much stronger than the others, another plot line that would grow over the course of the season to come, and also give you a linchpin to say that a season 4 is coming, creates this. Creating the race and the battle now in season 3, way before the damage gets done, cements the fact that William needs to be saved, not because of the bitter shock like it was in the original 3 finale, but over the course now of what it would be then. 35 episodes, William needs to be saved. It puts a long term weight on not only why he needs to be saved, but the sheer difficulty of it. As William is under Xana's possession longer, he gets more wise, stronger, and even faster. By giving the William possession an even longer tail, this allows you to craft season 3 around it, and thus ratchet up the tension in school. Now, as for the fake William thing, well, the fake William thing I would just get rid of. I think it would be best that actually the real William still maintain who he is. Kind of like Tommy Oliver in Power Rangers when he was an evil Green Ranger. Have him maintain exactly who he is, his school schedule, everything. It's just when he's around or one-on-one with the Lyoko Warriors, he turns the evil up with an evil voice, maybe pushing Jeremy into a locker or two, or the impression that he might have assaulted one of the teachers. Many a dark bully thing to highlight that yes, William is William, but he's evil as shit. It's only It's only after he is revealed within the school that he's a bad boy that the William clone is brought in. This way, William doesn't get expelled. But instead of Jeremy creating the William clone, have Xana do it. Again, this is about using the tools, but using them wisely. The Code Lyoko writers had all the tools perfectly in place to make not only this season work, but the next one. These two flaws I just highlighted are two of the biggest. Sure, season 4 gets away with it marginally enough, But season 3, it leaves an earthquake of devastation that season 4 has to fix by creating it as a chase scenario with both sides already using their pawns to heighten up the tension. You have reason. But also, it's time for the good guys to win. And they're going to win in 3 ways. Not only giving Aelita the energy field is a good call, but teasing the new virtual forums throughout all of season 3 is, well, needed here. With my new edit of William being a superpowered badass early, you need the answer right away. And this would be it. By teasing the new virtual forums, having Jeremy Jeremy claps them off screen with a loose TV, or seeing Aelita's laptop with a soon to be pseudo iconic design working in the background. Leave people something to bite. This season is short, so you gotta maximize the time. It's gonna lead to something bigger. Teasing the new virtual forms would be a way to do it, on top of trying to get everybody into Sector 5, which would still be the main goal of the season. That still fits. But having it be a race to the core as the two codes battle each other out with their respective warriors, naturally the school life would still go horribly bad. So bad that a sixth member is needed. That plotline still works. However, the warrior they chose is the wrong one. Again, I'm a writer about long, arduous tales. I'm really big on cashing in stuff, long term storytelling. I am an old school wrestling booker by trade in the way that I like to write. And one of the most overused tropes in today's writing is the redemption arc. Why? Because it's too short. The character that is chosen for the arc is wrong, and it doesn't feel fulfilling. Well, Code Lyoko had the perfect redemption arc on deck, and it wasn't William Dunbar. And even using evolution, the redemption arc for William was kind of so flat. But they had the perfect redemption arc right under their nose. And under my revision of season 3, that redemption arc would finally occur. And it would start near the end of season 3. The redemption of Elizabeth Delmas. See, I always thought that William being the choice to be the sixth Ryoka warrior only makes sense because he helps 3 or 4 times, not because it actually fits with team chemistry or has any reason. And for the show to immediately pull the heel turn is weak sauce. He's already a heel to most fans by this point anyway, getting in between the will they, won't they relationship between Yumi and Oric, already being a pain in the neck to Jeremy in Attack of the Zombies, and just being a general bore. This guy was already a heel. That's why the Xana possession at the start of season 3 would be an immediate fix and a proper fix. He's already a heel. He doesn't need to betray the Lyoko Warriors to earn his heel card. He was already there. So it's not really a shock when it ultimately goes down. He's already having evil, selfish feelings, mainly towards Auric, that would cause Xana possession in the first place. You didn't need to get him to Lyoko first. Xana could have easily did it himself. He's that powerful, remember? Use the cards you have on the table at this point. But by redeeming Sissy Delmos, you do two things. One, you even the odds. If William is going to be the evil ace in the hole for Xana to use, then Sissy will be the ace in the hole for the Lyoko warriors to use, not only as an additional combat warrior, but as a second petitioner to the Lyoko code. This could be a later tease to any Lyoko warrior using a tower that's later expunged in evolution. You could use Sissy as a bridge for this. What's her form? Well, her form is that of a cheerleader with very deadly pom poms. But instead of it being a traditional cheerleader's outfit, within it lies a little bit of a princess dress formed by Amazonian armor. Think, think Lollipop Chainsaw meets Wonder Woman. And those pom-poms are a long-range and close-range weapon. They act like brass knucks that can adapt to whatever sector Sissy happens to be in, using her natural athletic skill and her height, she could have springs in her shoes to launch herself off of different surfaces. But but also this would get Herman Nicholas to also pseudo turn in order for Xana to finally meet his defeat. My thought is you're gonna need an army. And Sissy's good at talking, which leads to another side power. Give her Sindel's deadly voice as a second, but have it be a one and done life point drainer. This would also introduce the notion of a secondary skill. Every, every Ryoka warrior has them. That would be Sissy's. Combine this Combine this with the big change of heart, combining William's betrayal, and you have the bridge to save him. By seeing that Sissy can even redeem herself and prove herself to be a viable warrior, this also proves that William can be redeemed. It's William's redemption at the end of season 4 that would be the ultimate linchpin to Xana's defeat. Also included having Herb and Nicholas become good guy warriors too in a pinch. Remember, Xana's the ultimate evil. It should take more than just merely 6 people to get the job done. It should take more like 10, which is part of the reason for why to fix Season 3 now. Season 3, because it's short, should be a linchpin to the major ideas that you'll expound in season 4 and beyond. Sadly, the writers didn't do this. But I definitely want to hear from you on Twitter. The @ you're looking for is at Nirvana Sparkle with a capital N and capital S. Leave me your ideas in tweet and your response to my fix. Sadly, this has been a bookmark to the Aelita Diaries. Sadly, we still have to go through the real material. But this should highlight just how close Season 3 was to being perfect. All the pieces were there. The execution was not. Until next week for Tidal Wave. I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own Nirvana. And, oh yeah, that's just a theory.